The strange wealth effect of your first $3,000 in passive income. You ever have that moment where you're sitting at your desk, staring at your paycheck and thinking, man, if I could just make a little extra money without working more hours, everything would feel different. Or maybe you've said something like, if I could just make an extra $500 a month, or $1,000, or maybe $3,000, I'd finally be able to breathe. Here's the thing. Most people think passive income is about getting rich, but the truth is way stranger. Because the moment you hit your first $3,000 in passive income, something happens in your brain. Something psychological, something emotional, something that changes the way you see money forever. And once you understand this wealth effect, you'll realize why $3,000 in passive income feels more life-changing than your first $30,000 raise. My name is Liam, and I spend way too much time thinking about how to prepare for retirement. If you're someone who wants to get the most out of your dollar, make sure to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if this helps you out. Alright, let's get into it. The most misunderstood number in personal finance. Look, when people talk about passive income, they jump straight to the big numbers. I want $10,000 a month. I want to retire early. I want financial freedom. But here's what most people don't realize. The most life-changing passive income milestone isn't $10,000 a month. It's not $5,000 a month. It's not even $4,000 a month. It's $3,000. Why? Because $3,000 is the first number where your brain starts to believe, I don't have to trade my time for money anymore. And that psychological shift is worth more than the money itself. The math behind the $3,000 threshold. Let's break this down with real numbers. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the average American spends $1,050 each month on housing, $600 each month on food, $450 each month on transportation, $300 every month on utilities, and $200 a month on insurance. That's $2,600 every month in core living expenses. So here's where it gets interesting. $3,000 in passive income doesn't make you rich. It makes you safe. It covers the basics. It covers survival. It covers the stuff that keeps you up at night. And when your survival is covered, your brain stops operating in fear mode. That's the wealth effect. The psychological shift nobody talks about. Here's the part that blows people's minds. Your first $3,000 in passive income doesn't just change your finances. It changes your identity. You go from, I need my job to survive, to I choose my job because I want to. That shift, that feeling of optionality, is the real wealth. Because once you feel like you're not trapped, you start making better decisions. You negotiate harder. You stop tolerating toxic workplaces. You stop panic spending. You stop panic saving for retirement. You stop making decisions from fear. You start thinking long term. You start thinking strategically. You start thinking like someone who's building wealth, not someone who's trying to survive. The story that explains everything. Let me tell you a quick story. A friend of mine once told me, if I could just make $3,000 a month without working, I'd feel like a different person. He wasn't talking about being rich. He wasn't talking about retiring early. He wasn't talking about yachts or Lamborghinis. He was talking about breathing room. He was talking about mental space. He was talking about freedom from fear. And when he finally hit that number, not $10,000, not $20,000, just $3,000, he said something that stuck with me. I feel like I'm finally living my life instead of reacting to it. That's the wealth effect. The math that makes this even crazier. Let's talk about what it takes to generate $3,000 in passive income. At a modest 6% annual return, you need to invest $600,000. At 8%, you need $450,000 invested. At 10%, $360,000. Now here's where it gets really interesting. Most people think they need to save their way to $450,000. But the truth is, you build your way there. You don't save your way there. You build skills, systems, assets, habits, identity. Your first $3,000 in passive income is the moment you realize, I can build wealth. I'm capable of this. This is real. That belief is worth more than the money. Viewer objections. Now you might be thinking, Liam, I don't have $450,000 lying around. Totally fair. But here's the thing. You don't need $450,000 today. You need the path to $450,000. Or maybe you're thinking, passive income is a scam. No. Passive income hype is a scam, but real passive income, index funds, dividends, rental cash flow, royalties, digital assets, automated businesses, these are real. Or maybe you're thinking, $3,000 isn't enough to change my life. It is, not because it makes you rich, but because it removes fear. And when fear goes away, everything changes. The strange wealth effect explained. Here's the psychological model behind the $3,000 threshold. 1. Survival mode leads to stability mode. Your brain stops scanning for threats. 2. Stability mode leads to strategy mode. You start thinking long term. 3. Strategy mode leads to growth mode. You start taking calculated risks. 4. Growth mode leads to wealth mode. You start building assets instead of reacting to expenses. This is why wealthy people say, your first $3,000 in passive income is harder than your next $30,000, because the first $3,000 changes you. Actionable steps to build your first $3,000 in passive income. Let's get practical. Step 1. Pick your lane. Choose one. Invest in real estate, digital assets, small automated business. Don't chase everything. Step 2. Build the first $100. Your first $100 in passive income is the hardest. It's the identity shift. Step 3. Automate everything. Automatic investing, automatic transfers, automatic contributions. Step 4. Reinforce the system. Every raise, add $25. Every bonus, add a chunk. Every debt you pay off, redirect the payment. Step 5. Scale slowly. $100 leads to $300 leads to $500, leads to $1,000 leads to $3,000. It's a ladder, not a leap. The final reveal. Here's the truth. Your first $3,000 in passive income matters more than your first $30,000 raise, because a raise improves your income, but passive income improves your life. It gives you freedom, breathing room, confidence, optionality, identity, stability, and strategy. It's not about being rich. It's about not being scared. And once you're not scared, you start building wealth for real. If you've been waiting for the right time to start building passive income, this is it. Not because you're ready, but because you're tired of feeling trapped. Your first $3,000 in passive income is the moment everything changes, not financially, but psychologically. If this helped you out, hit that like button, subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the next one.